Hey, WTOP 10 Storm Team 10 meteorologist Zeke Howden here with your Zeke Peak. We've got multiple weather threats that we're tracking tonight, including heavy rain and snow over the next couple of days. And we'll also be tracking some strong winds, which could cause some blowing snow, which is very hazardous for travel. We're also looking at lakeshore flooding, and I'll also have a look at your weekend. It's all coming up in your full forecast. WTOP Nightly News starts now.
Tonight, Mayor Billy Barlow and SUNY Oswego are hosting a hockey event for children. We'll tell you where and when.
Plus, an event at Tully's will be helping an organization in Oswego County. Our reporter Matthew Rivenberg will have more.
And the Syracuse Airport is testing a new type of transportation in the air. What it will be coming up.
It's Tuesday, November 29th. This is WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Mayor Billy Barlow has announced an event for Oswego's youth over the winter break. Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley Jones.
And I'm Madeline Cummings, in for Emily tonight.
The Oswego State men's hockey team is teaming up with the city of Oswego to host a youth hockey night. Mayor Billy Barlow announced today the event will take place at SUNY Oswego on Friday, December 30th at 7 p.m. Children are able to get in for free with the purchase of a parent general admission ticket.
The hockey team will also be available for a meet and greet and a group photo for the kids signed up through the Youth Bureau. Mayor Barlow says that it gives families an affordable activity and it is something to look forward to during the winter months. To sign up for the event, contact the Oswego City County Youth Bureau. A memorial service and planetarium show will honor longtime planetarium director Scott Roby, who recently passed. A memorial service held on December 1st invites students, faculty, staff, and others to share remarks and memories of Roby and his impact on their lives and studies, followed by a brief planetarium show. The service will be accessible via Zoom for those not able to attend in person.
Today, Tully's is holding an event where 10% of their sales will be going to an organization. Matthew Rivenberg is here in the studio to tell us what organization it will be going to. Matt?
Good evening. This event helps foster care children in the greater Oswego County area. SUNY Oswego student and CFA student assistant Melinda Brancato says it helps Oswego Police Department.
So 10% of the sales at Tully's will go towards the Liberty Resources Kinship and Caregiver Program. This is to help assist foster kids and their families.
CFA teamed up with Oswego PD for the month of November to help with their No Shave November initiative to raise money to help foster children. If anyone is interested in helping out, you can go to Tully's on Westbridge Street in Oswego. They close at 10 p.m. Riley and Madeline, back to you.
Thank you, Matthew. The Syracuse Hancock International Airport will be partnering with V-Ports to build the first international electric advanced air mobility corridor. The partnership will consist of the construction of a test platform designed for eVTOL drones. These drones are roughly the size of a helicopter and are designed for full commercial transportation of cargo as well as human passengers. The eVTOL aircraft test flights are planned to start in 2023.
The Rosamond Gifford Zoo is asking the community for help in naming new elephant calves. The twin male Asian elephants were born on October 24th and have been adjusting to their new home with their parents Molly and Doc. Online voting is being held from now until 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, December 1st. You can vote for your favorite name at the Rosamond Gifford Zoo website.
After a recent spike in the number of overdoses in central New York, the Oneida County Overdose Response Team has issued an official spike alert. The alert is being put in place after 9 overdoses took place in central New York last week, 2 of which being deadly. Findings from the scenes indicated that the life-saving medication Narcan was not readily available for the 2 deaths. The Overdose Response Team has speculated that each of the cases likely involved fentanyl combined with heroin, cocaine, or other unknown substances.
Tuesday, the Onondaga and Oswego Boards of Elections started their hand counts for the for the 50th State Senate District. The tight race between incumbent Democrat John Mannon and his Republican challenger Rebecca Shuroff had a .04 margin. Mannon only had an unofficial 55-vote lead. Every vote cast in the district race will be recounted by hand, over 120,000 ballots between the two counties' boards of elections. It is still unclear how long the count will take.
With the country facing crazy inflation rates earlier in the year, it finally appears that gas is on the downturn. The national average is now down to $3.55 a gallon, which is down 11 cents from just a week ago. With this, there's some extra good news for Syracuse residents. MD's Market on South Main Street is offering a limited time deal for $2.87 per gallon. The manager of the store stated that it was time for a well-deserved break. December is just around the corner, and things are getting a little too cold here in Oswego.
Zeke, how's the weather looking for the rest of the week?
Well, the weather for the rest of the week is not looking great. We've got multiple threats, including some heavy rain tomorrow and some lake effect snow on Thursday. I'll have that coming up in the full forecast of the break. Guys?
Thank you, Zeke. Coming up, the Respect for Marriage Act has passed, what it means for the country.
And we have the latest on the protests in China right after the break.
Shine on that black.
Look at the bling. Look at do we got a diamond tester on?
Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep.
10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
Hey, Storm Team 10 meteorologist Zeke Calden here with tonight's forecast. Today was a pretty good day overall, kind of cool, and we'll see that kind of continue into tonight. Cool, breezy, and then we'll see some showers going into the early morning. And tomorrow we'll have this occluded front set up going across Oswego with that low pressure up there, and that'll bring us some rain through tomorrow, as well as some pretty breezy conditions. We'll see winds in the 15 to 25 mile an hour range, and we could see gusts of up to 40 to 45 miles an hour in some places. So if you still have that outdoor furniture out from the summer, I would definitely take it in because it could get blown around out there. It'll get pretty warm tomorrow, but it won't feel that warm again because of the wind. It'll probably only feel like 45, so make sure to dress up in long sleeves. That 54 degrees is kind of a misnomer. And then on Thursday, we are looking at some lake effect snow, especially on the Tug Hill. As always, make sure to check your tires, remove ice and snow from your car and avoid skidding. I got in a pretty bad accident last year, and it was because I was braking too hard. So make sure you take it safe out on the roads on Thursday, especially in the Tug Hill region. And taking a look at that extended forecast, tomorrow, warm, but won't feel that warm because it's going to be windy and rainy. Thursday, we'll see those gusts continue even more with 50 to 55 miles an hour gusts. A bit cooler again with that snow. It'll probably be only 2 to 3 inches here in Oswego, but we'll see more on the Tug Hill. It'll get nice on Friday, and then we'll see the rain and wind return on Saturday, and then Sunday it'll cool down, but partly cloudy. It should be an okay day if you have a sweater on. That's all I have now. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Zeke. Earlier today, the Respect for Marriage Act was passed by the U.S. Senate. The legalization this legislation is taking action to protect same-sex marriage if the Supreme Court were to ever overturn the 2015 decision to legalize it. While the bill does not stop states from banning these marriages within their official territories, it does force them to recognize marriages that were granted by other states.
With the passage of this bill, though, I think not just about them and the millions of Americans it'll impact, but about my future grandchild. That child will now grow up in a more accepting, inclusive, and loving world, a world that will honor their mother's marriage and give it the dignity it deserves.
The Republican National Committee is putting together a group called a Republican Party Advisory Council. The RNC says it will come together and plot strategies it hopes will be successful in the future. Participants include former Trump White House advisor Kellyanne Conway and evangelical leader Tony Perkins. The GOP says it wants to address the aftermath of the 2022 midterm elections, hear from new voices in the party, and make stronger inroads with minorities and female voters in the suburbs.
Danya Prailu, a former Walmart employee, is suing the retailer for $50 million after the shooting by one of her fellow employees in Chesapeake, Virginia of last week. Prailu states that she submitted a formal complaint against Andre Bing in September. She claims that Bing was incredibly rude, making comments about her and other employees' ages, height, and financial status. Bing opened fire on the store last week, killing 6 employees. The corporation has yet to comment on the lawsuit. The Chinese government is moving to end the mass protests over its strict zero-COVID policy.
Chris Wynn has the latest on the protests.
For the first time in decades, thousands of people have defied Chinese authorities, protesting at universities and on the streets of major cities, demanding freedom from the government's COVID lockdowns, as well as strict censorship. A rare show of dissent against the Communist Party's tightening grip over all aspects of life. Protesters in Hong Kong expressing their support for those on the mainland.
I think everyone who has a sane mind should say something or do something to stop this unreasonable social measure.
CNN has verified at least 20 protests have erupted in recent days across 15 cities on the mainland, including in Beijing and Shanghai. Demonstrators holding up sheets of white paper, symbolizing the critical social media posts and news articles that have been wiped from the internet. China's vast security apparatus moving quickly to prevent additional protests with heavy police surveillance. The Chinese economy continuing to take a hit.
They're still dealing with COVID the way we were dealing with it in 2020 in the spring, which is your choice is to shut down. And that is very disruptive to the supply chain, the internal economy.
The White House treading carefully, even as it tries to mend relations with Beijing.
People should be allowed the right to assemble and to peacefully protest policies or laws or dictates that they take issue with.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
Scientists discover a previously unknown species, the largest European sea turtle ever to be identified. Bone fragments initially found by a hiker in 2016 were named after the biblical term for sea monsters. The remains have led scientists to estimate that the prehistoric turtles were 12.1 feet long, almost the size of an average sedan. Researchers hope to return the fossil site to look for more bones.
Up next, the longest running show in Broadway history will continue to run for longer than expected.
And the CDC awards how much money to public health? Find out after the break.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Here's your health and consumer report. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will be awarding $3.2 billion in grants to public health. The agency says the money will touch services available to everyone in the U.S. and will be used to recruit and train people like epidemiologists, contact tracers, and community health workers. Most of the funding comes from the American Rescue Plan Act. It's time to show off your holiday spirit, but this year, don't let a trip to the emergency room be part of it.
In today's Health Minute, Mandy Geither has more on how to safely deck the halls.
From holiday lights to lighting the menorah, preparations are underway and decorations are going up, but don't let them take you down.
Certainly we see orthopedic injuries from fractures to open lacerations, skin tears, head injury, really quite the gamut.
Cleveland Clinic Emergency Medicine Dr. Jason Milk says most of the emergency visits from holiday decorating are from falls, people putting up lights or other decorations around the house. Milk says pay attention to the weather, check wind and rain conditions, and if you use a ladder or step stool, put it on stable ground.
If you're going to be up more than a few steps, that there's someone there by your side to hold the ladder to provide additional support with you. And ultimately not to use the upper steps, which are usually marked do not stand on, that most of us probably still tend to go up on.
Milk says there tends to be electrical injuries this time of year as well. He says to examine lights to make sure they're not frayed or broken and look at extension cords and outlets.
If you're unsure or if you're using equipment, electrical cords that are either frayed or in not good condition, it's either to get new or to advise an electrician before you're overloading an outlet or a power socket.
If you do get hurt, especially from a fall from a significant height, Milk says it's always best to see a doctor.
In these circumstances, it's always better to be safe than sorry. And certainly we'd like the opportunity to intervene early in these situations.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Congress is rushing to pass legislation that would block a walkout by more than 100,000 union rail workers next week. The strike, set for December 9th, could temporarily sideline as many as 765,000 workers within 2 weeks, according to the White House. Even just a week-long strike would cause chaos on sluggish supply chains during the busy holiday shopping season and could cost the economy an estimated $1 billion.
The The parent company behind Snapchat is calling for its workers to return to the office. Tuesday, a spokesperson for Snap announced it would begin an 80-20 hybrid model for workers next year. That means company employees will be required to work from its offices 80% of the time. The new policy takes effect at the end of February.
The famous Broadway show Phantom of the Opera planned to close in February. However, the show's producer just announced the musical will stay open for 8 weeks longer. The extension comes after a reported unexpected boost in sales and a busy Thanksgiving week. The Phantom of the Opera will now run until April 16th. The musical celebrates its 35th anniversary in January. Now let's send it over to Thomas Tellerino for a quick look at the sports report.
Tommy, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. World Cup action is red hot right now, but did the United States move on? Also, what's going on in New York hockey? Tune in after the break and find out.
Shine on that boy. Look at the bling. Look at do we got a diamond tester on?
Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep.
10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
I think you could build a house here with how many bricks are being laid in this game.
That is a rapid nosedive, and it is at the point of no return, guys.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
It's Al Roker.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Tommy Tellerino with your Tuesday night sports report. We kick our sports report off with some World Cup action as the United States men's national team moves on to the knockout stage with their 1-0 win over Iran. The United States got the lead early with the Christian Pulisic goal from Captain America himself from the cross header from Sergino Dest. United States finishes group play with 1 win, 2 draws, and no losses. They will move on to the round of 16 for the first time since 2014, and they will prepare to take on the Netherlands, who are sitting at the top of Group A. The action kicks off on the pitch Saturday at 10 a.m. Over to Max Zeal Gymnasium now as the Oswego State women's basketball team wins their 7th game in a row with a 77-66 win over SUNY Fredonia tonight. The Lakers got it done from behind the arc in this one, hitting 13 threes on the night. Carly Leo led the way on the offensive end with 23 points and 4 threes. The Lakers are now 7-0 on the year and earned their first win in SUNYAC play. Oswego will hit the hardwood Friday night against Brockport for their next game. Over to the KeyBank Center in Buffalo as the Sabres lose a 6-5 overtime thriller last night to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Buffalo kept it close the whole game, tying every regular time period, but the star power for the Lightning was just too much as captain Steven Stamkos netted 2 goals, including the game-winning overtime goal, and earned himself an assist on the night. As for the Sabres, they had 5 different goal scorers, but they were led by young stud Tage Thompson, who had 1 goal and assist. Buffalo now drops to 0-2 against Tampa this year. Sticking on the ice, though, we skate down to MSG as the Devils rally from 2 goals down to beat the Rangers 5-3. The Rangers got off to a quick 2-goal lead, but 3 minutes in, they ended up not holding on to the lead, and it was a tie game 2-2 at the end of the first. The second, though, the Devils broke away as Jack Hughes and Michael McLeod scored for the lead. Devils netminder Vitek Vanacek stopped 35 shots to shut down New York for the last 2 periods. Rangers fall to 10-9-4 on the year, and as for the surging Devils, they sit at first in the Metropolitan with a 19-4 record. We're going to go to the Barclays Center now. KD, he's going to help the Nets in this one against the Magic. We're starting early. KD, he's going to drive here. He's going to get the step back pull up. It's good. KD had 19 made jumpers on the night. We're going to see him more. A couple minutes later, Paolo Banchero, the first pick, he's going to muscle his way in and jam it home. 24 points on the night for Banchero. He showed off the strength there. Later on, KD gets the steal in the third. He gets the swipe and the dunk. They're going to go up 66-60 Nets. KD, he's going to, oh, never mind. It's Gary Harris in the corner for 3, splashes it home, 4-point play. He had 19 points on the night. Later on, 82-76 Nets. Curry ditches it, and KD shakes him off for the and one. KD, another jumper on the night, showing why he is still an offensive threat in the league here. To the fourth we go. Who else but the man himself, KD. He goes baseline again, and another smooth jumper on the night. That was his 16th made shot right there. 96-88 Nets, but the Nets are going to ice it right here. Kyrie Irving, he's going to outlet the pass to Nick Claxton. Claxton slams it home. He had 17 on the night, but KD, the Slim Reaper, shows why he is that man. He's taking souls and digging holes on the Brooklyn Net hardwood. Nets, they're going to move to 500 on the year, and they'll take on Detroit tomorrow night. When we come back, what fast food restaurant could give you free food for life? Tune in after the break.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back. For our final story tonight, how does free McDonald's for life sound? The fast food giant is offering a chance at what's called a McGold card, also known as free McDonald's for life.
From December 5th to the 25th, each purchase of at least $1 on the McDonald's app gets you an entry in the drawing to win one. The 3 winners will also get 3 cards each to give away.
However, it's not exactly free for life. It's actually 2 free meals a week for 50 years. But hey, close enough.
The McGold card has been around for years, with some celebs reportedly holding the card, including Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and Rob Lowe.
That'll do it for us here at WTOP 10 Nightly News. Good night, everyone.
From all of us here, thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone. Woo!